my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
And welcome everyone to the Man Cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and I will be your host for tonight's show. This is season number 1, episode number 23, and waiting in the green room is our good friend Paul Stadinger. But before we get to our special guest, let me introduce my panel for tonight. Starting off with the same gentleman that I had last night, and the night before that, and the night before that, Dan the Man Leathertan. How you doing, Dan?
Doing wonderful. Hello, everybody.
Hope your internet keeps up with us tonight. No storms.
Just so you know, I just looked at the weather, and we're getting ready to get hit with a slobber knocker in the next hour or so. So you may see lightning flashes in my windows behind me.
It's got to be a southern thing. I've never heard slobber knockers before.
No, don't forget I'm a Yankee.
Oh, that's right. But I never heard it up there either. So
I'm from Maine, so
I think it's something you made up. So representing the great state of Canada, John Salatellis. How you doing, John?
Yeah, we hear slobber knocker up here.
Really? I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
it's a fighting term, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Joe Baker's in the Midwest. You ever hear of slobber knocker, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I guess it's just me then, man.
It's just you.
It's just me, man. So glad you could join us tonight, Joe. Joe, we got an old buddy of yours as our special guest tonight, I think, huh? Did you guys ever meet in person?
Once or twice at Chicago, I think.
Okay, right on.
Old timer like me.
And we are still waiting for another guest who said he wanted to be on the show tonight. Of course, he's not here. So let's go through the chat room. Ronald McDonald, you were first from the UK. I appreciate that. Barb Flowers from Pennsylvania. Paul B. He's been waiting for this. Michelle D. Lone Wolf. It's nice to see the people that tune in on Mondays, tune in on Tuesdays too. So that's kind of cool. Mr. Sexy, where are you? I see he's in the chat room. He was supposed to join us tonight if we had an open spot. So I'm gonna say we have an open spot.
Travis Gibson's here.
And no, we don't. Somebody just joined in. Somebody just joined us. Now we got to go back around the room and do an introduction again.
There he is.
There he is, the one, the only plastic general, Christian Aldo. And he's
Does that look better? Does that look better?
Yes.
Hey, you got clothes on. That's just better right there. You know, you just having clothes on is.
Guys, if I just may cut in and say, I've been watching for the last how many weeks. I was so excited and envious watching you guys have so much fun. I felt like I was missing out big time.
And now you're here and you're
really,
late.
I swear to God.
I just got done telling them backstage that you even called me today and said, I want to be on the show. I said, good, we'll make room. Yeah. And then you weren't there.
I was editing Plastic General, believe it or not.
Okay, all right. Well, as long as it was.
I apologize. I was deep, but I forgot. Anyways, I'm listening.
Nope. We just went around the room. We're going around the room right now to say what's new in your zoo. So we might as well just start with you. What is new in your zoo since the last time we had you on, brother?
Okay. New episode of Plastic Generals coming out. It's going to be Italian paratroopers versus the American landing in Anzio. And it should be finished in 2 days. It looks like I'm going to be releasing my Toy Soldier set through the help of Toy Soldier Central.
Very nice.
Hey.
Finally.
Yeah.
And then what else? I think I'm going to go to the Chicago Toy Soldier show this year for the first time.
All right.
Right. I think I'll be there as well.
Yeah. So, and hopefully we'll have figures to provide.
Very nice. That it?
I would love to see you guys. How come I can't see you guys? I can just see myself. I don't want to look at me.
Well,
I want to look at you.
Because once I do that, I control that button, my friend. So,
How's it going?
Dan, what do you got new in your zoo since we talked to you last night?
Well, I'm waiting on a shipment coming in. It's going to be hopefully next week, and we get a nice story called Billy the Yank. So we'll have hopefully that'll be here next week. But right now, because Rick's not on, I'm going to go with 4-inch figures. I picked these up recently, and I have no idea what they belong to. I mean, they're obviously Disney things. Marvel. We're going to go with superheroes. I got Iron Man.
So they don't bend. They're solid figures.
No, they're solid. Yeah, plastic. They're just 4 inches. I mean, look, there's an Iron Man there. So we got that. We got War Machine. Like I said, I picked these up at a discount place, and there's Mighty Thor. Come on, bring out the jokes, Mighty.
No, I didn't say a word. I didn't say anything.
We got Hawkeye. I did string his bow. That's the thing I do. If I see a figure with a bow, it gets strung.
Yep. I liked those last week. Those were pretty cool.
I still have them. I think right here. I got Captain America. This is actually a pin. He had no shield. That's a pin I had. like this pin here.
Yeah.
I had a Captain America pin. I just stuck that on there. We got Thanos. And then we got the Hulk. He looks a lot like me, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Built like me. Got the same coloration.
Right.
And then now I was told this young lady watches the show every week. So, it's
Michelle D.
It's Scarlett Johansson.
Uh-huh.
And since she watches, I just have to say, Scarlett, when you get tired of calling.
I thought she only watched when the Plastic General was on. I didn't know she watched all the time.
Look at that. That's what I got for tonight, guys.
Is that the 132 scale Galileo shuttlecraft?
This right here?
Yeah.
No, that's actually a Johnny Lightning shuttlecraft that I repainted. I do a Star Trek thing based on the USS Constitution, and this is the NCC 1700. It's called the Hercules. I named it after my dog.
Oh, cool.
I do 1/6 scale stuff. I built a 1/6 scale bridge, transporter room, like the whole set, years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything around me right in my fingertips. Oh, I got a chair, but it's.
There's a guy that's building a 1/16 scale USS Enterprise. You know about that, right?
1/25.
Oh, 1/25.
Yeah, Mr. Trek. Mr. Trek is 1/25 scale. Yeah, it is absolutely. I follow him also, and I follow you also. I just got done watching one of your videos.
Oh,
so it's fantastic. 120. I mean, 1/25 scale, guys. I mean, we all do model cars. I mean, the things like this, which like you guys watching can tell. Okay, it's that big. But if you buy a model car, it's usually 1/25 scale or 1/24 scale. And it's, I mean, the figures are, what's the 1/25 is probably about up to here on the guy.
How many inches is that?
That's 4 inches there.
Well, this is 4 inches. Yeah, I think 1/25 scale is about 3 inches in that area, maybe 3. Somebody's gonna have to go in. I don't have my calculator open to figure that out, but it's gonna be on. But the thing's gonna be huge. I mean, the Enterprise from the original show they said it was 400 feet long. It was the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. Yeah. So I mean, this thing's gonna be massive.
He's 3D printing it.
He's building it all with styrene. He's 3D printing stuff. He's got people working in on him. He's putting lights in it. It's Mr. Trek on YouTube, and I've been following because I built my bridge. If you go back to Joe Lanta, I had 2005 is when I put mine on there, and I won a diorama contest. There's pictures of it. There's photographs floating around out there of my stuff. I built all this stuff all together. I wasn't expecting it, so I don't have it right at my fingertips. But yeah, this is this is representative of that. I did. Oh, just so you know, I did build a 1/6 scale shuttlecraft. I mean, if we share screens, I probably could show you pictures of what I did.
I want to see some of this stuff. You said let's do our Facebook thing or something another time.
I will do. I'll send it. I'll send it to you because it's out there. It's
I'm an
amazing.
original Trek fan, especially with model kits.
Exactly. That's how I am.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the most
about
important secret Star Trek project.
And John, bring it back to 1/32 scale, will you, please? Somebody.
What's up, everybody?
We got Paul in the waiting room looking at me like, what show is this? Is this 1/32 scale?
Yeah, we're gonna bring it back under control. I got a couple packages in the mail. One I wasn't expecting. Well, I was a bit, but I thought it would be an envelope, but it turned out to be a package from somebody from West Virginia.
Virginia Beach, if it's Virginia me.
Right. So all of a sudden, there's like, I see some figures, I see some terrain pieces. I'm like, what's all this? Man. So wow, man.
Thank you for helping out the show.
Oh, this is my pleasure. I didn't
know if you ever got anything from Toy Soldier Central. So
I was going to, but as he said last time, that he's stopping shipping for a while until he gets his orders. So I just placed. I didn't get a chance to spray paint or anything like that. So there's a couple of Japanese infantry.
What scale?
132.
Nice.
Yep.
130 or 132.
You got to bring it up higher, dude. You got to bring it up higher.
Sorry. Yeah, it's 132. It's Toy Soldier Central. I think it's 132. Paul,
it's exactly. Wow. That's the one with the bendable weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's what you ordered it in the 132 or 130?
132.
132. Yeah. So I thought. So I got to spray paint one guy today. You can see it's a lot. It's a light tan.
Yeah, and you glued the base on that one, right?
I glued the base on this one. The other ones I didn't glue the base, and because they're very big, and it's going to be a problem setting them up or around terrain and stuff like that. So I got this other this plastic elastolin bases from Germany, hard plastic. You see them they're kind of like that, and it kind of perfect. This guy's a Russian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So. I got the spray paint out. He's going to get done probably later tonight, along with the other guys. And there's another little piece here. See, this is why I'm not going to put the bases on, because I want these guys inside like this.
Neat.
Oh, cool.
Right. So with a tan color, he's going to be fully camouflaged. And I also got. I know it's not considered plastic, but this piece is kind of plastic and a little bit resiny from King and Country, the Atlantic bunker wall that I've wanted for a long time.
Oh, that's a great piece.
Oh yeah.
See it like that, and actually it's pretty. I thought it was going to be like a really heavy piece, but it's not. I think Joe, you might tell me this is plastic, or at least hard plastic.
Resin.
Is it resin? Because it's not as heavy as the other ones, but yeah. Well, the outside is for sure, but the inside, I thought maybe they coated it. But you're probably right.
There's a top to that, though, right? Or no?
No, it's like this.
Oh, it's open.
And there's 3 figures that come with, but I won't show those because they're metal.
Ah.
So since the plastic general's on tonight, we're not going to do metal.
We gotta
listen. Even I cheat with metal once in a blue moon.
So do I. So don't.
I cheated. I cheated when what's his name? Conti continued some of his Waffen SS with the same sculptor in metal, because I always wanted an expansion of those sets.
Yes, exactly.
Very nice.
Yeah, and some of the terrain that came out later, some of the time traps were in a hard resin, but there was it went with the metal sets, right? So
yeah,
those really good. Yeah, so that's about it. And thanks again for all the love on the longest day posts. Over 5 pages, I reached about 1,025. So guys, thanks, man. It's awesome.
That's cool, man.
Everyone loves your book.
I know.
Thank you, bud.
You have your shirt on tonight? You have your shirt on tonight or not?
No, sorry. I got something else on tonight.
All right.
Now you're messing with her.
Joe, I didn't mean to put you last, Joe, but
all right. Well, I John stole my thunder because somebody sent me some stuff too.
I was hoping you got your package.
And so these are GIs.
What do you think of those, man?
They're very good. I love the flexible stuff. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Can you do me a favor and flex one right now?
Do the gun, yeah, man. It bends.
oh yeah.
I mean, the whole figure's bend basically.
They're like plastic. They really. And if you, I don't know if you can see it or not, but look at how fine and detailed this sling is, right there on that figure.
Yeah.
I mean, super.
I thought you'd like those to go with your D-Day set.
Yeah, and like I don't know if you can see the pose here on the front of the guy falling.
Yeah, they definitely look like Rangers.
Yeah, they're really, really cool. And plus, I got he sent me a few of these little terrain pieces as well, which I'm waiting until I paint the guys to put them on there. So, but thank you so much, Paul. This was a unexpected treat and very, very fun.
I'm glad
I don't know if you can see or not. I chopped up the bases.
Okay, yeah.
So that so they were smaller and
not just those circles.
Yeah, not the wargaming.
Yeah.
Action Joe Figs wants to know how tall are they? What 132nd scale? So
they look Conti size. They're maybe a little bit smaller than Conti. They're probably 132nd, maybe 56 millimeter.
Yeah.
So that's what's new in my zoo.
Right on. Well, let's see. I think this is the first show we've ever had two people at the same time from Canada on. It's pretty cool.
Team.
The Canadian invasion. Since we're
Canadian
becoming part of the United
yeah.
States, since we're going to be annexed by the United States, we
Yeah.
must join now. Be a more powerful nation.
That's nice. We got two females in the chat room, which that's nice. Usually it's just a bunch of old guys chatting in, so that's kind of cool. And we got one of the premier guys who have been around probably longer than anybody in the field as our special guest tonight. You guys ready for me to bring him in?
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
He gave me one of the greatest excitement highs I ever had in my whole collecting career.
Go for it. Tell us.
It's when World War II was very dry, and he was the first person to premiere photographs when Pegasus showed the German paratroopers. He was the first person in the world to show them. And I remember me and my fellow collectors kept looking at the pictures, and they would put out a few new ones every day. And it was so exciting.
On his website? On the website?
We waited for that for so long. Wow. Yeah, that was it right there.
Well, let me bring him in.
Oh, man.
With his little introduction I got for him. So sometimes this man is called the godfather of toy soldier collecting. There is no 1/32nd scale figure this guy isn't familiar with.
Oh, yeah, right.
You've probably seen him or ran into him at a toy show near you. He is the owner of Stad's Stuff website. This is Paul Stadinger, but we just know him as Stad. It is an honor and a privilege, sir.
So thank you. Happy to be here.
I need to start off with something before we get into everything you're going to talk to us about tonight. This is our first season with this show, and in the last 20 or so weeks, I'm just going to run down some of the people I've interviewed, okay? David Cook from Mick Sean's Closet, Jeff Immel from BMC, Ken Syak from LOD, Craig Remington, all these people you know, George Guerrero from Minuteman Toy Soldiers, Carl Dedrick, Rusty Kern last week, not to mention Joe Baker and John Salatellis and the Plastic General, and every single one of them have said, you are the man. You are the guy we got to have on. So it is a pleasure and an honor to have the godfather of toy soldiers on. I don't know what direction we want to go with this interview, but
rock and roll. That's the way.
So, John Salatellis, you were the one that really pointed this and got this started in bringing him on. Why don't you ask the first question? You got a question first?
Oh, wow.
Did I hit you up too soon?
No. So first of all, it's funny because last week I was about to order. I ordered something from eBay from you, So by the order that you're shipping to Canada, that's me. It's the Starlux French stretcher team, along with some Speedwell accessories.
Yeah, that went out yesterday to the holding company that you're using that's deals for farm people.
Yeah, it's whatever eBay does. That's
Yeah, that's on its way, as I said.
yeah.
And both of those items were picked up here in the States, not abroad.
Yeah, but it's such a coincidence that I had ordered the stuff, and then we're talking about, and then and then Paul announced that you're going to be on. So, okay, so my question is, well, first question, where can we start? How, besides as a child, what got you into this? Like, what were you like? Did you have a favorite set? Was it Marx? Was it something else? Was it, World War II, or was it, Civil War, or what?
No, the basic thing that it goes into three parts of with everything. First part, when I was 5 years old, I had a kidney infection that I ended up in the hospital for 16 days. And then after I came out, I didn't go out and play. I had to stay in, and my father worked swing shift at the Bethlehem Steel. So I played in my sun porch with the various plastic figures I had and made up stories and countries and heroes and villains. And that was the first part. And then the second part, I learned to drive. My parents didn't drive, as I was saying earlier. My mom had an eye problem. My father damaged a car, supposedly a transmission, when he tried to learn to drive. And so I started driving. We went to flea markets because we only had one relative that my father liked. The other two we tolerated on my mother's side. And I got to do flea markets. I was collecting Boy Scout stuff at the time, and that was fun. But I see a figure and go, "Ooh!" For my little stories and everything else. And then the third was the one Collector's News, or one of the antique papers had about the auction between by Ted Maurer of Gene Scale and John Bowers, who had bought the Marx warehouse. I literally got 3 tractor loads when the company went up, and they were selling, and they broke up the partnership, and they had this first auction. I said to my mother, we'll either be there 20 minutes or 4 hours, and 2 flat tires. And 4 hours later, I spent $400, which today you wish you had 10,000 for what popped up there, like 3 playsets for $60. And of course, one of the legends of mine is at the end of the auction, I bought 4 boxes, and one of the boxes had the Elliot Ness and Al Capone character figures, which I sold for a number of years for $25 a piece. And that's how it started. And then I started the list after having it, and it just went from there.
Well, you told us backstage a little bit about your website, how you when did you really start that first website? I know you said 2 went under, or
oh God, you forget so many things. I mean,
Stad stuff has been around a while.
Yeah, before that it was the Stads, and as I said, I had 2 local providers go out from under me, and I lost the access to the Stads website. And somebody wanted to sell it to me for $5,000. I laughed at them.
Sell your own website.
Yeah. So I started Stat Stuff, and that's 13 years on that alone. I know that. And
you did a print newsletter before that, though.
Oh yeah, I have people coming up to me, even one at Gettysburg, say, "I got your list," and I was feeling it's just amazing. And they said, "You got me started." So it's very humbling when you hear that. So
it's great.
So God, and it's allowed me to travel. Like I said, I love going over to Europe. That's a lot of fun over there. I just got back from Plastic Warrior, which It's a small show, only 60 tables. But in those 60 tables, it's so concentrated. You can go around 30 times and still find something. The one that I told Paul the earlier today or yesterday, I spotted 2 Marks guided missiles. I thought, okay, start through the box. There's just Marks 45 millimeter Air Force. All of a sudden, I see a white figure. It's a Marks 54 millimeter sailor.
Oh,
When it was done, I had 5 more.
oh, great!
Oh, wow.
All 6.
All so
Seven.
there's 7, at least 7 there,
There's 7 poses.
There's 7. He got 6 of them, huh?
and they're up on eBay now for somebody else to enjoy. A big prize too.
How much did you pay for them, though?
Very cheap.
Yeah.
Well, what are they priced for on eBay?
The set of 6 is at $200 right now.
Oh, that's actually decent.
Yeah, they're all original. I mean, I don't.
So Europeans aren't into Marks. They're into what? Swappets and Tempo.
Atlantic.
A Tempo and Britons. I mean, in Germany, you'll find they're very big on Tempo. Color variations, they go crazy on. They got one of the panics they had a couple years ago. Tempo did a laying firing cavalry figure. It's known to have been done, but it was pulled because of the way they packaging, and they have to be very careful because there's a lot of fakes out there that have been done in resin and in plastic, and but they go for mainly Tempo. I mean, I did the German show last year, and for the first time in years, which my friends Peter Bergner and Marcus Lexhai run, and even though it's Tempo, there's other stuff there. And one of the things that my friend Peter has is these junk boxes. I would say it's 30 feet long, and that's just the 1/32 and larger scale. He also has a separate area for 1/72 figures, which you pay by the kilo. It's amazing.
Wow.
So go ahead. Next question.
Ask away, guys.
So in this new age of 3D printing, what dream piece would you like to see made in the new soft resin?
There's really anything they pop up. I mean, one of the Germans, Martin, I don't remember his last name. I just picked up as doing some Tempo parts, and then he took a body of the Tempo cowboy and put a new part on. I'll walk away and grab the figure if I find it in a little bit later, but I have other goodies to show you. But I really, it's whatever I see. There's nothing really that for myself that I'm really looking on new or old.
You've done everything so much that you're on a different level now. You're just doing it. You're enjoying proliferating and helping things find its home.
I enjoy. I mean, I pick up figures. Using Plastic Warrior, I picked up figures. One of the figures was a small company called Sackle, SACUL, that did a night. Person had it. Was not cheap. I think I paid between 60 to 70 pounds for it, which you're talking over $100. But they're very rare. That's the first time they seen it in the photo is going to be used by Plastic Warrior for their magazine that I did. It's up on my Facebook, and it'll be on my site in the near future. So, I mean, it's whatever turns up, and it's sometimes I buy stuff and people say, "How the hell did you find that?"
Okay, has there ever been a holy grail that has eluded you even to this day that you would still love to procure?
Actually, no. The one that was my Grail piece. Hang on. Is I gotta get used to these lights here. Is this? It's called the Speedwell Armor Car on Fire, and what happened with it is my.
Can you hold that up again, closer to the camera?
Okay.
It was too far away. I think it's because it's not focusing in.
Further
Back.
back?
Right there. Yeah.
And what happened was my mother was very involved with an auxiliary group with the Salvation Army, and we went down. They went down to Philly, and my dad and I could go along, and we went down to, and walked around, and we went into Gimbals, and my father bought me 2 Elastin figures, which I still have. And this just after it was this box I see for $5 by Speedwell with the armor car, but he wouldn't buy it for me. So that began a 40-year hunt. And first of all, I had to find out what it was. One of the side stories, there was a gentleman in England named John Harwood who had one, and he used to taunt me with it. And the one time he goes up to me and he says, "I'm going to be buried with it." And I went, without missing a beat, I said, "That's okay. I have grave diggers on duty." And he ran away.
He should have made a copy of it, then smashed the fake copy in front of you.
He was a strange little guy, too.
Hey, you got a question from the chat room?
I'll get to it in a minute, folks.
All right.
So anyway, finishing up on this, finally, I got word of a collection that Robert Horning and his friend picked out of Canada. And I had a feeling that it was in there. Glory had, by the way, before, one time I was offered it for $1,000, and Lori put up with a 45-minute philosophical discussion. And I said, if I buy it at that price, I have to quit the hobby, because I would see it for $5. So anyway, I get to the Valley Ford show where Robert Horney's with his collection, and everybody's around. There's one party who sees these Temple Romans and said, "They're mine. And I go through a box. There's the armor car. I got it. If he would have grabbed it, I was on a double dose of adrenaline. I would have snapped his hand. I picked it up. I borrowed somebody's phone, called Lori to tell to call England, because the one that Harwood had, he had passed away, was going to come up for sale. And I told him, cancel it. She thought I had a heart attack and had security on me. I had to go to the security desk and tell them, no, I'm fine. I got the tank. About 5 years later, a good friend in England, Brian Carrick, hands me a second one. So I have 2 in the collection.
Wow.
All right. Now, somebody asked what direction the hobby is going.
Yeah. What direction do you think the hobby's going in?
Part of it is good. I mean, we have the 3D, which is offering figures that you never get ever again, or makers will do because of the cost. That's the good side. Things are coming out. The sad part is, with all of us going by the wayside, there's very few to replace us, because they're into the action figures and Lego, and that's, I don't know. I've seen some other hobbies like radio premiums just die off, and it's sad.
Yeah.
I don't think the hobby is going to die off. I think trains are going to die off. Like, if you're a train collector, I mean, you can't even get rid of this stuff, I heard. But there's a lot of things that keep perpetuating the hobby. Like, if you remember during COVID, there was a lot of action on the internet regarding toy soldiers, and everyone started getting hot and collecting Mars and all that stuff. There's a lot of young guys who were interested in video games and stuff like that. And there are younger people that are getting into it also. So I think there is some replenished blood there.
Well, we'll see how it happens. I mean, like I said, I've been around here 40 years or more, son, young whippersnappers.
Got another question from the chat room. Paul wants to know what's the greatest item you've ever found at a show in a junk box.
Oh God, I don't. It's like, who knows? I mean, it's so much goodies have passed my hand. I mean, I just did a little little toy show, and most of it was action figures. And I walked outside. This is the most recent one, and I saw a Barclay metal cowboy that I didn't have for $1, and then I spotted a bag of army figures, and they're modern army. And I thought, ooh, these are different. I'll grab them. And the guy said, you can have them for $1. Well, as I walked away, I realized they were Eschi modern U.S. infantry for $1, which sell for $20. I mean,
$10 each.
No, for the 14. But it's so many. There's been so many things. After a while, you forget what you find. I never know.
What do you think the best part and the worst part is about collecting?
Ooh. Best part is the fun to go out there and find stuff.
In the wild? In the wild, you mean? Just
in the wild, and I guess the sad stuff is when I see a great figure that's damaged, and yeah, that'd be sad. Yeah, and then sometimes people with their crazy prices. Oh yeah.
Everybody thinks they have $1 million, when it comes to their toy soldiers.
Well, I got a question here. Well, first thing I want to say something to Christian. In 2023, I sold my model train collection. I had a real large model train collection. I sold it, and I got plenty of money for it. So I don't know if it's dying. I think it's out there. People are still trying to grab it, and I got my money's worth. I was selling it. I just wasn't into it anymore. I've been sitting around for years. But I have a question for Paul here. If you're new to the hobby, you got new people showing up. I see in the stream here, they're different collectors. What's your advice on where to start collecting? Where you should, what's the best way to go about doing the collecting? Is there a particular era they should start looking at, or a particular brand they should start with? Something that somebody, new going in, who's not going to you don't want people to blow their wad of money on it, and then they don't want to be in it anymore. Something that'll get the juices flowing. This could be for anybody in the panel.
I mean, basically, go for what you like. I mean,
yeah,
and don't get just start going to the shows and flea markets, and you meet people and start there. I mean, there's so many areas if they want to do Civil War. I mean, there's so much Civil War, not Marks alone. You have BMC, you have Accurate, you have so many other companies.
So are you saying it's as far as collecting, you're saying just collect? Is there a certain brand that people should focus on collecting, or I don't know if I'm coming through enough on the question. If you're being a collector,
investment, you're going to be the Marks play sets. But I'm not like I said, I'm a parts man. I don't worry about that. I mean, what I collect is for my enjoyment. I mean, like I said, some pieces I've spent hundreds of dollars, like the Seiko Knight, and then others I paid 50 cents, and they're just as much fun.
Sure.
One of the fun things in the collection, which I had on my old website for years, was the Shirley Barronal Knight, which Lori and I got at a New Jersey show for $25, and a couple of months later, we were at Albert, England, with a friend, and he shows us this knight figure and a shield, and he says, "This is the rare Shirley figure." And I go, "I have the knight, the horse, the lance," and I got to look. Where the hell did you get it? since then, it's popped up more often, and he has a full one. The French found a number of them over in France, and it was based on a lead figure. I'll show that in a future. I don't have it right here now.
Is there an era? I mean, we talked about era, like you said, collect what you like, but is there an era that is a little bit easier for people to get into and find more figures of than others? So some.
Like, I mean, if you go to a toy show,
But it's got like deeper, more variations, a deeper dive. I mean, you talked about the knights, but I'm sure there's only a limited amount of those. But like an era that just, I mean, I'm kind of assuming maybe Civil War. Is that
Limited knights?
Civil War and World War II. I mean, with so much out there. I mean, if you want to start with Marx and then expand outward. I mean, you get like this is a sorry,
a little bit further, right there.
The Speedwell German,
Okay, yep.
which would add on. He's to your your figures, and then that's conversions. There's another figure that I think that's either Petromon, Japanese, I think. And if you're talking knights, this is a Kinder Egg. What we didn't get, they did figures at one point, and that's quite exciting. So, I mean,
It's paint that one up.
It's what you know. I mean, you got
that was my next question.
Warner.
Back up. Yep, right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Warner.
And what company is that one?
Warner. That's a small company that people don't know the mix on that.
People think they're Timmy a lot, but they're not.
With Ideal, who made first and all that, because you have the Ideal without the bases, and then you have the Warner with the bases. Starlux is
Starlux, yeah.
They made so many figures.
The only problem is if you're a completionist, it's hard to chase down, or where's the master list of all the Starlux poses?
There are some books that have been done on some of the Starlux. Really, nobody has that I've known of. The French has done that. They're fun bunch of guys.
Basically, when you see them, buy them.
You know what our hobby really needs? 1/72nd scale. They have a website called Plastic Soldier Review, and it's basically every single plastic set in existence in 1/72nd scale. We need something called the World Toy Soldier Database, where you hit the scale, then you hit the period, then you go to the maker or the period, and then the maker, and it will show all the poses and all of the sets. It would take a couple of years to build the project, but then again, it would be the World Toy Soldier Database.
There's several people who've done that, not to the full extent. For Marx, Kent Sprecher has a website.
Yeah.
Ken has,
a pictorial review of everything. And for Mark's play sets, Eric Johns, he's passed away now, but he had a website.
Yeah.
Is it still up?
It should be.
I think it is.
Christian, if I find it, I'll send you the link.
Yes, please do.
I think I have it.
But I would love to see a link for Starlux and some of those French companies. They have some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the whole thing is there is a site for some of the premiums that were done in France, which is a wide range there besides the Mocarex and Cafe Storm. So I mean that's the whole thing there. One of the people I see asked, "Do you war game?" No, I don't have time. I did war game with a little cardboard stuff that
Avalon Hill
and that years ago with friends, but I got out of that.
You got a nice comment here from Mr. Mike. He's new
Yeah.
to the channel.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Said I picked up a copy of Toy Collector magazine and saw an ad for Stads. I ordered the BMC bagged Alamo figures and I was hooked.
Does he mean plastic figure and playset collector? Or is there a magazine called Toy? What?
That's it.
Yeah, that was your magazine before the website, right?
Oh, that wasn't my. I did my own list, and I would say that was Toy Collector because who knows? You know, it's been so long. I mean, I did advertise in PFPC.
PFPC, yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
Before I got kicked out. That's another whole story and a half. And
We could do a show on that.
oh god, well, people I know.
Yeah, well, Tim Gephardt, does he have a website with his list, or is it just the
No,
hard copy?
he's on eBay. That's all I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you found your holy grail that you were
Mhm.
looking for. As a kid, what was your favorite, or what was your holy grail playing as a kid? You said you played with a lot of play sets on the porch, but was there a favorite toy of yours? Was it Mark?
Basically, the plastic figures. I mean, would get at Christmas one play set, but by and large, most of them were the non-violent ones, like a pet shop, the IGY, a gas station. But I mean, I really didn't. You know, the figures were my fun. I mean, I saw somebody wanting to know. I did play with cap guns. I have a very rare gun called for Shotgun Slade, if you remember that TV show that I had, which I used in a student film. But no, I haven't been to John's Gettysburg shop. I usually go to Gettysburg, do the show, get something to eat, and out the door.
I was gonna say you were at the last one.
Yeah, I
saw
was.
you
I had
pushed
a
the
table
mic
with
table.
my good friend Erwin Sal, who talked me into doing a table. I usually don't do a table because I'm so bored. And I roam around, buy goodies to put on the list, and eBay now. So
Jim wants to know, where would you suggest best places to find items? Garage sales, Goodwill, or eBay?
oh well, garage sales are getting harder because the people who are doing them are they're from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and more recent. So you see more die cast. Goodwill, you might find something. eBay, if you're lucky. Flea markets. I love flea markets. I love to walk around, get my exercise. And like I said, you never know what you'll find there. Like I said, I just found $1 bag of Eshy. So
Not in Canada.
yeah, well,
We have nothing here. I don't know about you, Christian. Maybe Toronto's a little different, but
You find things all the time, and guys, stuff is everywhere. In fact, my greatest problem is I've pretty much caught up to everything I was ever chasing. My only new thing is I'm excited and I'm waiting for new things, or new things are on my hit list that I've yet to buy. That's it. And then I went to a Toy Soldier show last weekend, and I made a few good scores. But actually, I scored something that I think I might have gotten bitten by a bug in the Toy Soldier hobby. I'm actually kind of embarrassed to say it.
metal.
No. Mark's 6-inch figures.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, they're so you look at them and they're big and they're beautiful, and that's the sculptor, man. The same sculptor.
Yep.
I bought the complete set of the Japanese and the complete set of the Soviets. And you know what? And remember the way they did the Mark's reissue sets?
Yeah.
They were boxes that had all the poses. I think I want to chase them all down. I think I'm gonna start collecting.
I know Joe's got them.
6-inch.
He's getting out to get them.
I've always loved them. I had them as a kid, and every night, like, remember the one of the cowboy being shot,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
guns falling out of his hand,
Yep.
and you turn him around, he's got a bullet hole in his back. That
Now,
blew my mind as a kid.
I think it's Rubenstein that made 1/32 scales of all those.
Yeah, they were pirated. Yeah, you got it, man. I love that sculptor.
I had the astronauts growing up.
But are you ready? Are you ready for the fantasy that I'm starting to I want somebody to start making 6-inch figures of like plastic platoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
$150 a figure.
Start doing like, how about 6-inch Napoleonics or just the 6-inch are some of our favorite figures. The problem is when you blow them up, you're going to have to go in and re-detail them, because when you go from small to big, you lose a lot of detailing and stuff.
Yeah.
But guys, if you've ever held a 6-inch, I know sounds kind of like
I know.
but if you've ever held a 6-inch figure in your hands, there's something so like substantial about it. It's so meaty and it's there. You can even see the pupils in their eyes. That's so amazing.
James Viola, who's a huge painter.
Yeah.
I would love to see him paint a 6-inch figure, man. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I want to know what Toy Soldier show you went to in Toronto.
It was the annual Toy Soldier thing. It's the big one. I have to admit, this year I was a little disappointed. Like last year when I came in, the place was buzzing. There were a lot of younger people in their 20s and 30s. People were going, Plastic General. Even people's wives were like, oh, they wanted my autograph. But this year I went in and it seemed like there was 1/3 less people and there wasn't a buzz. And I didn't see much that I wanted to buy.
Is it plastic as well, or is it just
like tons and tons and tons
really?
of plastic. In fact, I saw
down.
something I've been eyeballing for years. I kind of have a weird obsession with Britain's Details hospital sets.
I have a lot of that stuff.
There's something weird about them.
Yeah,
they're just mesmerizing. They're all in 132 and they're just like, people in hospitals and doctors and people have babies and stuff. Weird.
Nurses and doctors. I need the little wheelchair. Anybody has it? The little Britain's wheelchair? I need that.
Constantly look on eBay and they pop.
I know. I haven't.
But they're expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I was over at PW this year, I needed to get a doctor, and a couple of years ago, I bought all this hospital stuff, and I can't find a 1+, with the exception of the nurses because they released them separate.
Yeah.
I couldn't. There was only one party with some with the hospital, and they said, 30 pounds, and then was like,
they're expensive.
In fact, it was gone.
Yeah.
Like I said, 5 years. Well, 8 years ago, you could get all you wanted in the box, etc.
Yeah.
And now it's better than hen's teeth.
This guy was selling the full box sets, and he had the maternity ward with all the little babies in the incubators. But he wanted $200 for it.
They were in Chicago last year. Hobby Bunker had a few sets.
Wow. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of next show, Stat, are you attending Chicago this year?
No, like I said, it's cost effective for me in the fact that I used to fly in and get a car, and that's too expensive anymore. So I'd have to drive, and that's 2 days. And with not having somebody with me, I was picturing of all the health issues I've had.
I'll tell you what, guys. If I go, you guys go. Let's have a big party. Let's have a big party.
I'll tell you, with the money I save from there now, England's and Europe's a different situation.
Yeah,
I can buy what I want here. I mean, I'll have fun at Gettysburg buying up what I need for a resale.
I find Gettysburg, even though it's not in the middle of the country or, New York, whatever, that's a pretty well attended show, and they get a lot of plastic there, man. I mean, it's a lot more than metal.
Yeah, they were complaining about that, the metal guys. And, but, like I said, I go walk around a bunch of times and find things for, for the eBay, and occasionally maybe a figure I want. So, so you have a lot of fun.
I don't know.
What I hope to find if I go, I want to. Actually, I don't. I'm afraid to say what I want because I'm afraid other people are gonna start looking for it. None of your business. No, I want some of those prototypes that 21st Century Toys was making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on painted versus unpainted, Stad?
I have no qualms against it. I mean, I know that American collectors, especially on the marks that they found them painted, would try to get the paint off. But the Europeans, for example, they grew up with painted figures.
Yeah, but
First from the lead, and then that transferred over to Britons and the other companies. And of course, then as they got more in the plastic, they're finding ways to get around where the swap it with Timpo, and went from there.
Well,
I
you
love
said
the old
you
ones.
said earlier that Francis Turner said you have one of the most.
Well, yeah, I'm bringing it out here. I was at one of the New Jersey shows, and he was talking to somebody, and they asked him what was the rarest figure, and he started to say that the rarest figure is the Prime Minister Anthony Eaton figure, which was done by Louis for, I guess, a special dinner, and they only did. And I replied, I have the figure in the Tenite Master, which is this one here, which I had bought when Scala got the Masters. These were $110 back then, but I thought, when am I going to find this figure? So,
Huh. How many of those exist?
That on the 10 nights, there are only one of each figure they made. I know other people bought them, and the pioneers and everything else. I mean, Scale also got the marks. Mort. 1 second.
So that's more rare than Johnny Ringo and Custer.
Yeah. Johnny.
Custer.
Excuse me. I got to see what you're doing. No, that's baseball cards.
I'm sure you got a bunch of Johnny Ringos and General Custers too, don't you?
No, I don't.
They'd be on the list if he did.
Yeah, like I said, they're one of the. Anybody want baseball cards? No, that when we're not in the right show. Okay, let me see. Here. One of the things Scala also got a hold of, which once I get to the page, show you this. The PL boards, product line boards.
Yeah, if you can bring it a little closer to the camera.
What is that?
Those are the PL boards that they would. Those are Mark's PL boards?
Yeah. What happened? He was offering pictures, and I said to Gene at the time, I'll take one of each because it's going to be reference for me. And
so it was like everything that they made in a play set, and they put a number to it, and this way, whoever was packing the play set itself knew exactly what went in it, right?
It also showed the designers what was in each mold. Mold
so
group.
Decide for the when they were putting a play set together.
I've seen George Kroll has a couple of those. I've seen his place. And
What is a PL board?
Well, these were the boards that would hang up in the Marks warehouse factory, where they would put the decide on the set, and they could look and decide, well, we'll take this for the Yogi Bear set and this for the so they could figure out how much to price the set out when they were when they had the jobbers. One of your fellow Canadians, whose name's going to escape me, told how he helped put together a Mark's place set for the company. His father was a buyer at the time. And
was it the Eskimo set?
No, it was a battleground type set. It was done for Montgomery Wards, I think. And that was the whole thing.
now, are you a completionist? Do you have to have everything in your playset, or you don't even have playsets? You have accessories.
I have a few playsets. Some of the playsets when I moved into this was Lori's house from my house because my old house was downtown in Allentown, and the neighborhood wasn't too fun. I mean, I had a drive-by shooting and a neighbor murdered up the street and a few other fun things. And we moved out here, and it's smaller, and I got rid of most of my sets. I still have my Marks Untouchable set, which is still in the box. I never, I've had parts out. Um, the that one was very funny. I mean, I saw the Untouchable set over the years, and went with my father. We went to an auction, and I said there was all die cast, and it was Barclay and that. And I said I want to go stop at this little shop I've always I know about. And I walked in there, and most of the sets that the guy still had in his store were the White House with the 45 millimeter figures, and they're sitting in Mark's Untouchable set for $6. Now that's well. I also had a flea market. This is with my parents. Now this is once again the old time. They sold for they under a table was a Zorro set for $8 complete. But those were the old days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, can you give us a story about Marks? I mean, something that maybe the average person doesn't know, or like somebody that doesn't really follow Playset Magazine. Maybe a story. I mean, we were talking backstage about the dig. I don't know if you want to share that with us.
Well, the Marks dig is, like I said, Louis put the figures in the ground. They didn't re-grind the plastic. And one of the times, Ron Shockley, who Joe would know the name, his aunt literally went and took him out of the ditch, and they put him in the barn till he started to sell some that he was dealing in glassware. And a collector from I won't say his name, saw it and tried to keep it hush hush until he sold some stuff. He had went to Peter Fritz, who was another name from the early days, and I can tell you stories on that poor guy. But unfortunately for him, I was right behind him, and I heard this, and I got furious and put my list and warned my readers that the stuff was coming out. And it went through various hands. I tried to sell some of it. Ron showed up at a couple of the Marks meets that were held in Jersey, and the gentleman who did those just passed away last year. So, I mean, and it was there. And then, of course, people went digging, and a late friend of mine, John Reichel, he got to go in the backcountry. I really can't go back now, especially I fell 3 years ago in the basement and ended up with a 18-inch rod in my back.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. And he went and they met at a bar, some of the people that could get him there, and he said they were real hillbillies, like missing teeth like me. And he took him in the back, and it was really rocky, and he did some digging, but he didn't find anything fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really don't care. Let you guys dig. Have your fun.
Yeah, we said there's probably some treasures in the ground that somebody's going to find one day and not know what they are, probably.
Well, the problem is now that they're doing digging for the gas and the doing the well stuff. I can't remember the name that you do.
Oh, the fracking.
Yeah, fracking.
Yeah.
And they got very tensed. I mean, because they got ripped off a couple of times. One dealer who he was offered the Pirates. He said, "Oh, they're not worth much. These were the 54 ones in soft."
The ones that were never produced.
Yeah, and
Never in soft plastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but they are in soft plastic, and then of course they were done in hard plastic, and the play set never got produced, and that those parts showed up in various places in little boxes and so forth.
No.
so how many? So the 54 millimeter Pirates. How many poses were in that set? Because I think I'm thinking about the same one you're talking about. Well,
I think
13.
offhand there are 13, but
Yeah.
only 12 were sent over to Hong Kong. The guy walking with the two pistols was later found by Nick Argento of Glencoe Models, which he ran, and that mold ended up with with
The
I don't-
Lido. No, the MPC.
no, this is not MPC. This is the Marks.
Yeah.
They did a painted set,
Pirate
that,
Cove.
Pirates Cove or something.
It's funny the way sometimes a company they'll leave out one or two poses and they become like holy grails. Like we know that Airfix did it, but also Airfix did it because their poses they felt were too similar to Britain's detail. Do you remember when they did the Napoleonics? They left out some poses.
Well, they could have. I mean, I know they forgot they had a second officer that showed up later. Sometimes they might have got. I have to have some of my English friends tell me if they were. They did. I'm thinking here. Did they had copyright issues or whatever?
They were contested. They were contested by a fellow by another maker.
Like Britain's, so it's hard to say. Sometimes they did run into. I mean, Britain's got copied so much; it's not even fun. By even English companies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, Paul, we're at the top of the hour. We're actually over the hour. I know it kind of flew by there, but I'm so glad you joined us tonight, man. Hopefully you can come back and do another one.
I'll be happy to. There's so many stories. I mean, like I said, one of them, Peter Fritz. I don't know, Joe. Did you ever meet Peter?
No, he was before my time, but one of the things that got my imagination going was a picture in PFPC of him sitting in the back of a car at the Kane County Toy Show with like 20 play sets, including like Wagon Train and Gunsmoke and all sorts of others. Just
well, he was before Rick Ebert, and it was sad. I mean, he with his knowledge, he let himself go between alcohol and chasing women. He got a partner, and then he and the partner's wife shacked up, and she divorced him, and Peter married her for a while, and then she got divorced. Oh God! And
She was in 1-1 scale.
1-to-1 scale.
And eventually he got out of the hobby, worked for the post office. But toward the end of his life, he was living in a little apartment in a wheelchair in bad shape.
Did he do Toya Day auctions?
Yeah.
With McGuff and.
Yeah, well, what happened on the Toya Day? I'm happy to stay a while. Don't worry. Toya Day, he proposed it at a show at Chicago. And he offered it to a bunch of other dealers, and nobody jumped on it other than McGuff, because McGuff, getting back to Shockley, Ron Shockley showed up at a Atlantic City show for antiques with, I'm going to say, 50 orange crate boxes stuffed full of Mark's figures.
Wow.
And the one party whose name's escaping me right now, and I'll remember it later, he went through every box, picking through. McGuff and a partner bought all the boxes, and they needed a place to sell them.
Dave Payne.
So they joined up with Peter for his auction, along with Chuck Rastelli, who was from West Virginia. And that was the start of those auctions. And of course, those were in Toy Shop. And I did some auctions, which one of my good friends walked into. Here's another great story for you. He walks in, he meets some rock star, and I keep forgetting it, who had gone to an auction and bought some of the items from the Mark's warehouse in England that he was going to give his kids, and he ended up buying it, and I turned her. He shipped it to me. I mean, I was shipping it in back in the days when you could ship at reasonable prices to different people who it brought in. It was all kinds of Mark's toys that we had a wild time with. No, somebody asking on Charles Grant, Donald Featherstones, and Peter Young. Not offhand. I did meet in Britain's the two people that did the sculpting for Britain's over there in Timpo, and I'm also met the guy from Timpo, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. I have a question. Maybe you know. My favorite sculptor of all time is the guy from Mark's who did the Cowboys and Indians. He did the Japanese. Do you know that guy's name?
It could possibly. Oh God, it's this is the trouble with me. My mind goes.
You have plastic on the brain. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's too much plastic sniffing it. Oh, the dust. He was a famous metal sculptor, if I remember, and its name's escaping me right now. Oh, no, Lemon. Lemon did the Bob Lemon. He was he did the Aurora models and that. I think that's the guy that did the Mark 6-inch, if I remember right.
Well, but there seems to be two different sculptors.
Oh, there were more than that.
Yeah, because the guy that did the Germans, I'm not that crazy about his work. But the guy that he makes everyone look like a 1950s cowboy. Like he did the astronauts, he did the cavemen. You can always tell his style. He's very kinetic.
Yeah. I think those are Lemon, if I remember. Like I said, so much goes through here. Did
you hear the story about him? Like in the 90s, I heard that they brought him out of retirement to make that really bad German set from Classic Toy Soldiers. Was that true?
You mean CTS? Well, CTS went to Ferrio Brothers, and they just had a disaster on that.
Yeah.
And they ended up going to China eventually, and for this stuff.
Yeah.
They did some panographing there as well.
Right. But from what I heard, I could be wrong, but this is what I heard back then, that they hunted down that sculptor, and I guess he was very old, and they had him sculpt it, but he didn't do a very good job, and they were kind of disappointed in his work.
It's possible. You would have to talk to Miguel for Dave Payne on that.
I would love to talk to him about that, because there's no similarity in the sculpting at all either.
Yeah. I mean, they have, there's various sculptors. I mean, over the years there.
There's the guy that does the roundish sort of faces. He did one of the Marks. I'd say there's about 3 really obvious Mark sculptors. He did a lot of the 60 millimeter. They tended to have very roundish kind of faces.
Well, those would be out of Mark's used Ferrio Brothers to do this stuff, as far as I know, and
Rusty last week would have been one to ask.
I know Rusty would have known that. Yeah.
Yeah, Rusty's better on that one.
Oh, The sculptors are rock stars to me. Even in today's hobby, you can always tell when a sculptor comes around again. Like the guy that did the old Atlantic, which I want to strangle him, but I suspect he's the same sculptor that does the Italeri.
There's a number. There's a bunch of Italian books that have come out, and they have the sculptors in there. The Atlantic people are really getting things together, and I agree. The World War II set, I really like the Western was fun. I mean,
The Egyptians,
and then the ancients. Yeah, the Egyptians.
yeah, not the Romans though; those sucked. But the Egyptians and the Greeks, those were fantastic.
You're talking about Atlantic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Greeks are nice.
Yeah, their World War II stuff kind of,
Some of them were good, but a lot of them had those obnoxious.
Yeah.
Weird
poses.
The worst set was the Africa Corps.
Weird colors too, man.
People's heads are twisted the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they did the weird colors toward the end, trying to market. I mean, I know I bought a lot of those blister cards. That was a lot of fun stuff.
Some of the vehicles are nice.
Yeah, Bill Molyneux wants to know what's the best Japanese figures. He's working on a Iwo Jima battleground to put a Historicon this year up in Lancaster.
You mean who makes the best Japanese?
Well, yeah, he's trying to add figures to his.
Well, that's a complicated question.
Well, in 132nd, I mean, who's
no,
not 3D printed.
Certain sets don't match other sets.
Yeah, but
I love the Marks matched with Airfix. They go beautifully together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I find that Britain's Detail, Toy Soldiers of San Diego,
X-Force, Expeditionary
Force. No, they're too much of a jump up.
They're about
too
60
much of a jump up. Yeah, but the Toy Soldiers of San Diego and the Britain's Detail also go beautifully together.
Does anybody do the NPC ones anymore? Reissue?
Peru.
They're just too big.
No, the NPCs are not that
big.
The
NPC. They're kind of, for me, I couple them with Atlantic because the sculpting is a little bit under par. What?
Yeah. Hey, don't mind him. He's got a phone call. Just
Yeah. The Peru has a number of the molds, including.
Oh, really? Peru?
Oh, yeah. There's a guy on eBay with the 54 millimeter sailors from Peru, and he wants silly money.
Does he also have the 6-inch molds? Is that guy?
No, not that I know. I don't know where the 6 are. Some of them are in Mexico. I mean, because they came out the years ago, and they.
Bill wants to know which ones take the paint the best. He's a painter guy. He paints all his figures, so he's a.
Oh, that's hard to say because
if you use that Krylon now, if you spray it with Krylon first, they'll all take paint. That new Krylon that
Krylon Fusion.
Fusion. Yeah,
oh,
Krylon
really?
Fusion. Yeah, dude, that will bond to any type of plastic, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, James, he paints amazing stuff, but my technique is always just, you wash them down, soap water, clean them with rubbing alcohol, then you prime them with a Krylon Fusion, paint them with acrylic paints, then you coat them with a gloss coat, clear coat on it, and then after that, after I clear coat it with the gloss coat, I take the Tester's dull coat, because Tester's dull coat is the best flat spray there is, and then spray that down. Right here. This is the process, and this is what I got. That's what I did here. So
why'd you put gloss on it first and then dull coat?
Well, the plastic figures, if you bang them around, they bend, so they'll chip. In the old days, people used to take watered down glue and put that over the figures, keep them. Because there was a time back with us war gamers that's what we war gamed with is the 1/72 figures. Before a lot of the metal started coming out.
So basically, just Mod Podge. You use Mod Podge.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Semi-gloss is flexible.
Paul, before we let you go, I want you to tell people where they can find you. I know we mentioned your website, but you want to talk about it a little bit before we.
Well, my website is www.stadstuff. That's all one word, STADSSTUFFF.com, where I talk about the toys. I did part 1 of Plastic Warrior Show, and I also am on Facebook, of course, with a lot of goodies. That I talk about and show, and then I also do eBay, which is also stat stuff, which I just put up 25 pieces from Plastic Warrior of marks, and some others from a local source, and 4 are already gone of the 25. It's amazing.
Okay, here's one. Do you have the 6-inch Mark's German stabbing downwards?
I've had it and I've sold it. I did have a bunch of Mark's 6-inch British and 1 French through the help of a friend and also at the show that are already up on eBay that you can only find usually in Europe. Although at Gettysburg last year I did find some there, which I scarfed fast. And so but I don't know what'll show up from day to day. Right now I have a massive 1/72 scale collection that I'm dealing with. This guy would buy, like, say, Eshe Zulus and stuff 3 or 4 sets in. And I have somebody counting and putting those up as we go on that, and Airfix and everything else. It's crazy. So
stuff's still selling, right? I mean, people
oh
are.
God.
So the hobby is still alive.
Oh yeah, it's alive. I hope so.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It keeps me relaxed and quiet. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, Paul, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. We're way past our hour mark, but I appreciate you sticking with us.
No problem.
And
Good
Before
you go, you're the wrong person. With somebody in Ohio, in Maryland, you're in Canada, so I like you.
Hey, you're welcome back anytime, man. And hopefully we can do another interview in the near future.
Thank you.
Maybe
Thank you.
Maybe get you and Rusty on at one time, man. You guys gonna have all kind of stories for us.
Like I said, I've had a lot of fun from it, and Lori and my late wife enjoyed it, and we had fun together on it. So,
thank you again, sir, and it's been an honor and a privilege.
All right,
thank you.
Well,
Great guys.
have a great evening.
Guys.